Hi, I'm Don Boomgarden, President of St. Joseph's College. I'd like to welcome you to our special virtual Investiture, the first ever at St. Joseph's. And I'm excited to be here with you. I know this is a time of great excitement and joy. Despite all the things that are going on in the world, we're excited to have you here to start the new semester, to start this new year, and to start your career at St. Joseph's, which is really a special place. When I was thinking today about what I was going to say, I was really struck by something, and that is that even though these are very dark times, there are certain things which help us to get through those dark times. And those are the values that we carry in our hearts. St. Joseph's College has values, and we try to present them to our students, and they are lived out by our faculty members and by our staff, and of course by all of our alums. And some of these values will allow you to cope with the current crises that we face. One of the things I would say is that if you have some perspective on life, you'll understand that you've all had difficult moments and you've come through them. It may have been the loss of a loved one. It may have been some kind of disappointment in school or perhaps in athletics. You felt terrible, but you were able to overcome it. And afterwards, you were kind of confused about why you were that upset at the time. I think we'll look back on this beginning of the year in the same way. This will not last forever. There will be a dawn after the darkness. There will be spring after the winter. At St. Joseph's, those values are so critical to us for that reason, because it's in those dark times that the value of intellectual rigor is so important. The love of learning and the excitement of learning that you're going to feel as you join us is going to be really intense, and I think you're going to enjoy it. Secondly, the desire to develop and deepen ourselves spiritually. That doesn't necessarily mean that you become a Catholic if you go to St. Joseph's College, but what it means is that you are allowed to explore the full range of your own spirituality and to connect with that greater good that lies all around us. St. Joseph's has always been a school that has been very diverse and inclusive. And so we want very much for you to have that feeling, but we want you to go on that spiritual journey as well as the intellectual journey, because we believe in the whole person, in the development of the whole person as you come through and spend your time with us. I'd like to close by just mentioning to you that there will be some challenges this year. And as you go through them, don't be afraid to reach out to others. Don't be afraid to ask your professors for help. Don't be afraid to ask for assistance from others who are here and set up in special positions to assist you. They are very much following the values that I've been talking about already, and I think you'll find them really helpful. So with that, I'm going to welcome you again to St. Joseph's. I look forward to seeing you in person on campus, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the ceremony. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Philip Daney, the Executive Dean here in Brooklyn. Among the many things I do when I'm not doing Dean stuff is listen to a lot of music. One of my favorite songs a few years ago was by a great young Australian guitarist, Courtney Barnett. I think she's amazing, both for the feedback-laden yet melodic noise she makes, and also because of her lyrics. Her song Avant-Gardener epitomizes her greatness. In it, Barnett recounts doing some work in her yard during the middle of a brutal Australian heat wave. Suddenly something happens to her. She can't breathe. She goes into anaphylactic shock. And then the ambulance comes. In a weirdly unrhyming yet perfect lyric, she sings, "The paramedic thinks I'm clever because I play guitar. I think she's clever because she stops people dying." Barnett is clearly mocking herself here. For her, the unimportance of her own expertise as a guitarist is obvious compared to that of the nurse who came to her assistance. I think in the middle of this COVID crisis, many of us have felt the same way about our own uselessness. Compared to the frontline doctors and nurses, who are justly lauded for their life-saving work. But is it really unimportant to be able to play guitar? I can't help but think of the song from the perspective of the paramedic, who was likely truly impressed by the skills of the musician she was helping out. This lyric came to mind when I started thinking about the experiences of teaching and learning here at St. Joe's. Regardless of how you define diversity, This college is an incredibly diverse place. Our liberal arts core curriculum pushes all of our students from all majors together in courses far afield from their own majors. Over your coming years at St. Joe's, you're going to get to know people from very different backgrounds, with different skills, and with an incredibly wide variety of goals. You will meet and become friends with fellow students who aim to become writers, teachers, doctors, bankers, scientists, nurses, police officers, social workers, community activists, maybe even guitarists. You will take courses with professors who are experts in each of their own fields, and yet who have respect for and interest in the expertise of their colleagues. For me, one of the greatest outcomes for students at St. Joe's is not just that you will be given an opportunity to meet your own educational goals, but that you will more fully understand fields of expertise far beyond your own. From what I've seen from my own students over the past 2 decades here, I am certain that by the end of your education here at St. Joe's, you will all more truly appreciate the cleverness of people who do things very different from the way you do it. This kind of empathy and mutual respect that will be nurtured in you here may in the end be an even more long-lasting and important outcome than the way your education will set you up for success in your own chosen careers. In conclusion, I welcome you to St. Joseph's. I look forward to meeting all of you in the years to come, and hopefully coming to understand what makes each of you uniquely clever.
Hello, my name is Dr. Sola Togan Butler. I am the Associate Chairperson and Assistant Professor in the Human Services Department at St. Joseph's College. On behalf of the administration, faculty, and staff, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you and your family to the St. Joseph's College family. I know that these are difficult times as we are all living through a pandemic that has altered our way of life and presented us with unexpected challenges. Challenges that I know that we can overcome as members of this amazing college family. This reminds me of the African proverb that states, "Alone you can go faster, but together we can go further." Just like the quote, the St. Joseph's College family will support you as you further your educational journey. At St. Joseph's College, you have a community of administrators, faculty, and staff who are committed to guiding you as you embark on your academic career. No matter the course modality you choose this semester, you can be rest assured that you will have professors who are available, knowledgeable, and know you by name. I encourage you to get to know your professors, get involved in the various clubs that we have on campus, and take advantage of all the resources that St. Joseph's College has to offer. When I look back on my college years, what made it a wonderful experience was tapping into the community around me and knowing that I was not alone in my academic journey. I got to know my professors who were instrumental in my academic success, and I joined student clubs that further expanded the support system I needed to achieve my goals. In closing, I want to remind you all of the importance of community in coping effectively with the pandemic and the ability to pull us through when faced with challenges. St. Joseph's College creates a supportive environment that provides students with the skills to be successful academically and to pay it forward in their respective communities. As you embark on this next chapter in your life, remember that life, just like education, is what you make of it. In the words of clinical therapist Reggie Matthew, find calm in the pandemic storm. To find calm, remember to reach out to the St. Joseph's family to sustain you on your journey. Thank you.
Good evening, students. My name is Nicholas Gangone, and this year I have the privilege of serving all of you as your student government president. Today, I have the specific honor of addressing you at your investiture. I remember sitting at my investiture as if it was yesterday, and it gave me many great things to look forward to, in addition to welcoming me into the St. Joseph's family. I do not believe that there is a more appropriate year to celebrate your investiture than in 2020. This has been a hard year for all of us, and pushed us to reflect on what is most important in life, especially in the examination of our character. The year highlighted how precious the gift of life is, and how unpredictable it can be. It showed us how fast life can change and the value of having consistency and structure. Throughout the year, our college has constantly adapted, overcame, and continues to persevere through any hurdles thrown in front of the success of its students. The college is here for your academic and professional success. With that being said, we can all use something to look forward to. And for you, that is your collegiate career as a student here at St. Joe's. Being a student at St. Joe's means you are home. I stress the importance of the word home because my definition of home is a place where people are happy to see you and want the best for you. And those are the type of people you will find in the St. Joseph's community. Our extensive family and network of professionals are ready to assist you, watch you grow, and answer and address any questions or concerns you may have. To enrich your academic and professional success, there are dozens of student leaders like myself who are ready to welcome you into our diverse array of activities and clubs on campus. There are many outlets to channel your excitement on campus. Your job will be to find the one that works for you. I encourage you to push yourself out of your comfort zone, try new things, and make this new normal one you can navigate through. All of the effort you put in today will pay off tomorrow. At this time, I'd like to lead you through the Student Pledge, St. Joseph's College Student Pledge, Commitment to Excellence. We, the newest members of the St. Joseph's College community, commit ourselves to excellence, both in our individual development and in our service to society. We promise to develop our intellectual and spiritual values and to pursue academic excellence as we prepare to meet the challenges of an evolving world. We pledge to conduct ourselves responsibly and with honor, and to care for one another as we live, learn, and work together in mutual support. Ultimately, we will seek in ourselves and others the integrity for which St. Joseph's College is known, as stated in our motto, Esse non ridere, to be, not to seem. If we were celebrating this event on campus, this is the point where we would call you to the stage and you would be pinned by a member of our SGA organization. We ask that if you have someone who is watching this ceremony with you, to hand you your pin as a symbolic gesture to welcome you to the SJC community. I'm excited to meet all of you, and when you see me around campus, please do not hesitate to say hello. I'm looking forward to listening to you and being of assistance in any capacity.
Good evening, and welcome to St. Joseph's College. You begin your college career in what we call interesting times. As 2020 approached, those numbers often cited for perfect vision, none of us could have imagined that our lives would be turned upside down and the world would be suffering through a pandemic. In his novel, Tale of Two Cities, Dickens states, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair." No words ring more true to the circumstances we find ourselves in at this time in history. These past 6 months, we've seen the best of humanity, those who have been and continue to be frontline workers, who have shown us by their commitment, expertise, and generosity of spirit what love looks like. Each and every one of us has experienced loss on some level, whether it is of a loved one, our livelihood, or worse, a reason to hope. And yet, here we are, trying to make the best of a challenging reality that we face together. Each of us is trying to figure out what normal is as we walk into an uncertain future. I'd like to share with you tonight a story from the Hebrew Scriptures. There was a woman by the name of Esther who was made queen over the Persian Empire. Queen Esther was a Jew, but concealed her nationality at the request of her cousin Mordecai. It so happened that due to the trickery of a very evil man named Haman, who served in the king's court, her people, the Jews, were in grave danger. Her cousin Mordecai asked Esther to intervene with the king to discuss the matter. However, Esther was terrified because she was not allowed to enter the king's presence without first being summoned. If she did, the law required her to be put to death. She was in a position of great influence, but was scared. Her cousin Mordecai challenged her and said, "Who knows if perhaps you were made queen for just such a time as this? Who knows if perhaps you were made queen for just such a time as this?" I pose the same question to all of you. Perhaps you are here at this time in history, at this particular institution, to bring your wisdom, your talents, your yearnings, your questions, to give rise to a better world. Perhaps you are here to bring light into darkness and hope to those who despair. Perhaps, like Queen Esther, you were made for just such a time as this. St. Joseph's College was founded by the Sisters of St. Joseph in 1916, but their history goes back to 1650 when 6 women and a Jesuit priest in Louis, France, wanted to make a difference. Those were terrible times too. There was drought, hunger, war, disease, unemployment, death, and untold misery. You are here to carry on the 370-year legacy of the Sisters of St. Joseph and St. Joseph's College, and to live out those values, to learn them, practice them, and give witness to them in the world. The Sisters of St. Joseph see everyone as their dear neighbor, and greater than any intellectual or financial achievement is to acknowledge in ourselves and one another our core identity, which is the great and unconditional love of God. We welcome you to the St. Joseph's College community and challenge you to live a life characterized by integrity, intellectual and spiritual values, social responsibility, and service. Know that we, the administration, faculty, and staff, are here to support and guide you during this new reality. So let us pray. Gracious God, bless our students as they navigate unknown territory during this time of pandemic. Give them the grace to be compassionate with themselves and one another. Through their coursework, give them insight to challenge and critique unjust structures, to work to tear down all that divides us in our country and world, and build a community of welcome and peace. Encourage them to be generous and forgiving individuals who recognize your face in all those they encounter. And most of all, keep them safe in mind and body, knowing that they are loved unconditionally and are beloved by you, their Creator. Amen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Robert Riley. I serve as the Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs at St. Joseph's College in New York. I'd like to extend a very warm welcome, like everyone else today, to all of our new students and to their friends and family who are with us. My job here at the college is to really ensure that you have a terrific academic experience. They receive an education that's going to serve you extremely well after you leave the college. I work closely with the libraries and with the faculty, the department chairs, and the deans to help give you that classroom experience that's going to be impactful in so many important ways. I like to think of college as a really long workout for the brain. We want your brains to sweat. We want them to grow. We want them to be tired often at the end of any given day. I will look forward to meeting you in person one of these days, but in the meantime, you will realize, like I have after 1 year at the college, that there are a lot of people here to support you, especially in what are weird and challenging kind of times. Again, a A warm welcome to you. If you need anything, always let us know, and we look forward to the next 4 years with you.